Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
I'm tired. I am tired today. Yes, I am, but I'm not too tired to be here with you. I'm tired though, for real. That's the Bella Purpose. Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. Happy 5th of July. We made it through. Did you? Okay, 4th of July was yesterday. Yes. We all know it was my birthday. And thank you all. Thank you. I did a little post this morning. I saw the best fireworks display ever in my whole life. And when you're born on the 4th of July, it's a thing. I've seen them all over the world. Seriously. And I used to live in Las Vegas. I thought that was the best one. Because down on the strip, they go from one hotel to the next, down one side of the strip and up the other. Let me tell you, Elk Grove Village, Illinois, did the damn thing. It was the longest fireworks display. It was the best finale. I felt like an old black woman in a Baptist church when the Holy Spirit hit her, because I took off running, just like, oh, hallelujah. I'm not kidding. It was so good. It was so good. So, needless to say, color me back there next year. God willing, I'm still with you. So that's the Bella Purpose. I ring it on purpose every day here on Bathrobe Moments. It's not just a show prop or gimmick. No, it's a reminder, if you will, that just like that bell has a ring to it, so does the truth. So when I ring it, it's just because I know you're doing 1,000,001 things trying to keep it together, but I don't want you to get so busy that you miss some truth. We need it, right? So that's that. Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo, who is usually here every day with me and has been for 6 years, according to her contract, she gets a day extra off. Who knew? So she's somewhere today, probably getting her roots done. So I have my positive energy cup today, and I got a whole bunch of coffees yesterday in my goodie birthday bag. From he doesn't think I know it's him, my husband. He says it's the birthday fairy. I'm like, sure it is. So anyway, I got a bunch of great coffees, all the things I love. So today I get to eat cookies for breakfast, because that was always the thing with my adoptive mom, that I would wake up and there'd be a plate of cookies, because that's what I always wanted to do. She said, I want cookies the day after my birthday. Boy, I was cutting deals even back then. And so I have my 2 cookies. Well, 1.5, because I already started. And I go into my closet. This is an adult tradition. I was telling our guests, I showed our guests. So if you see me like losing my breath, it's not because of my asthma. It's because of this tiny ass shirt. Because I go in my closet and I pick out something that's at least about 10 years old. And put it on to see where, am I still, and clearly not, because look, these buttons are ready to just pop right off. So I was like, okay. I was telling my guests, I didn't know your rib cage could get fat, because mine certainly is. That what it? Well, yeah, because that's the only place it's not fit. Wait, the stomach is. How come you guys didn't tell me? We'll talk about that later. Today's guest, I'm so excited. I've been featuring people. As a matter of fact, Dr. Sanjeev Chopra was here just on the 3rd, Monday, day before yesterday. It feels like a month ago. And anyway, he was here, and you heard about the accelerator enunciate. Even my mouth is tired from all that screaming last night. The Accelerator Business Summit, coming to the Tinley Park Convention Center, August 31st through September 1st. And there will be a lineup that you will not want to miss. And today's guest is actually one of the speakers at this year's convention. Her name is Kimberly Montesinos. Montesinos. Montesinos, because I was telling myself casino, pneumonic device. Anyway, she has a great story. She'll be hitting the stage coming up in a few weeks, and she is just a great overall person. She's never been here before, so you know what that means. We roll out the virtual red carpet. We give a standing ovation virtually, of course. How do we do that? It's easy, it's simple, it's free, and it's painless. Throw some hearts on the screen as we invite our guest in today to be poured into and to pour into us. Here she comes, Kimberly M. Good morning, Kimberly.
Good morning, Dr. Lauren. How are you?
I'm well. I'm clearly fatter than I was 10 years ago, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm 61. I'm not trying getting it in. But I am blessed, highly favored, living in Dominion, just
Amen.
like you. So,
Amen.
yeah. How was your 4th of July?
It was really nice. I had family come in. It was first time I was with 4 of my sisters, and they came in, so we were together the whole weekend.
Wasn't that fun?
It was fun. Yes, it was fun. And since one of my sisters I haven't seen in almost 16 years, because she lives in Arizona, and it just time and passing, and she's doing her thing, I'm doing mine. So it was really beautiful to have all of us together this
Wait, she
weekend.
lives in the Arizona that's in Italy?
As in Arizona, state of Arizona.
The
She lives
Arizona
in
on Pluto,
Tucson,
the planet.
Arizona. Mm-hmm.
No, the Arizona on the planet Pluto.
Yeah.
Well, Arizona. I mean, it's not like, girl. Delta goes there. I'm just saying.
I know there's a story behind it. That's another
I know
show.
it. I already know. Listen, it's interesting you say that, because my brother from my adoptive family texted me yesterday morning, happy birthday, and his birthday's on the 3rd. But that's the first birthday greeting I've had from him. We had not spoken or seen each other in 50 years.
Wow.
Until last year when the movie came out. I'm just kidding. Well, but you know what? It's never about one thing. It's so interesting. And tell me if this was the case with your sister and you. After so many years, no matter what it was or whatever it was, when you finally get back together, isn't it amazing how you go, what in the crap are we thinking?
Yes.
Look at,
yes.
And you start, and you figure, talk about that if you could, just for a minute, because it happened for a reason. About, you know what I'm saying about.
I do. My story is kind of similar to yours, that I didn't know that you were adopted.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
I was illegally adopted. Now
Me too.
I
was actually taken. I was
so
in
was
hiding.
I.
Yes. Girl, see?
Oh my gosh. Well, I know we don't have that much time. It's a very long story. A lot of people have asked me to write a book about my story, and that's one of the things my sisters and I talked about. So long story short, I was illegally adopted. I grew up in Lincoln Park area, Old Town area. My parents, how I came to find out that they were not my parents, my mom acquired cancer, I think when I was 14. So she passed in 1980. I was a senior in high school. And then I came home and found out just before she passed away that she was not my biological mother. And that was crushing to me. I grew up an only child. Needless to say, I have 16 brothers and sisters that I never knew of.
Biological ones.
Yes. So I have 6 on my biological dad's side and 10 on my biological mother's side. But I grew up an only child. So I didn't find out until my mom was on her deathbed. And then I came home. So she died Thanksgiving of 1980. 1981, I came home right before my graduation from 8th grade, from high school. And I found my father, who had died of a broken heart, at home, and he had passed away at home. So I came home to that. And then a month later, I was shipped to this family that I knew as my real mom.
Wait,
so
that you knew was your real mom?
I came to find out after, in that 6-month period. Like,
so
I lost a mother, I lost a father, and then I found out I was adopted. And actually, my biological mother was around. She just was not able, to reveal who she was. So I'm telling you, it's a story.
Oh, I get it. Story. I totally get it. And I'm still in shock that we're sitting here. It's not like, I used to drive a Pinto. Oh, girl, me too. But, and
you're the first person I've actually, outside of my people, your people that know me, that grew up with me, because they're still, I still have friends. We were together yesterday from 13, 14 years old. So this is the first time I've aired this. Want to say this story, because I didn't know you were illegally adopted. I've told people as I've gotten older and comfortable with saying it, because there's such a harsh, it's such a traumatic story behind it.
It is.
Yes.
And
It's
people
trauma with that.
you know why I stopped for a long time, I wouldn't share it, was because I didn't want my adopted mom to be a villain, her
Right.
memory to be a villain. And,
Absolutely.
you know, thank God for
Absolutely.
the GoCast video, which allowed me to get that story out and have it told once and for all. Because, you know, every person, I know that all of the people that had a hand in raising me, they each played the specific role God gave them to play in my life.
Amen.
And so wow, we got to talk about that. So
Yes,
okay,
yes.
so we're inside now. So now we know. So let me ask you, because we were going to talk, we usually talk about our origin story. So when you were growing up and you thought you had their last name.
Yes.
So
No,
did I.
they actually, gosh, I don't know if I should say this, but they did things to make sure illegally that I got through my whole life with their name.
With their name. Me
Yes.
too.
So
I
my
didn't find out
my
until she
name,
died.
my maiden name is Kimberly Wilson. So I grew up Kimberly Wilson, and then I got married, and I was married for 20 years, and I have two beautiful children with that union. And I've been actually, that was probably the first name in my whole life that I could relate to that was actually something I could say was legal, if that makes any sense. And it brings my children together. It's a family thing, even though unfortunately my husband and I are no longer together. But yeah.
So Wilson was your married name.
My maiden name.
Your maiden name. So that was the name of the people that raised you.
Yes.
So when you found your birth family, what was their last name?
Williams.
That's my birth family's name.
Stop it!
I promise.
Are you my brother?
No wonder. I'm like, oh my goodness. Wow. Oh my. Okay. Well. I know who I'll be hanging out with at the party here on Saturday. Just incredible. So here's the piece. Because you know, whenever, and I'm so glad I have a buddy now to talk to this subject with, for the viewers. Talk about the relationship, or what about when, you know, you were an only child, so I had siblings on the adopted side that did not want me to even look for my biological. There were all these stories. She was a drug addict and a prostitute. None of it was true. But anyway, when you found your biological siblings, and there's a boatload of them, have you started the process of getting to know any of them?
Well, I'm telling you, this story is pretty deep. So when I came to find out about my biological mom, remember, she has 10 children, which two have passed since then, because I was 18 when I found them.
Okay.
It wasn't a love. It was exciting. Let's just say that. It was like, oh, I have my lost child back, right? But it was awkward. Remember, I just found out about that. So at a very early age, I learned rejection. I learned not feeling I belong. I lost my identity. I lost myself when my adopted parents died. I lost myself. I went from being an only child and having this dream of what my mother had implanted in my head. You're going to go to this college. You're going to do this, to having all that taken away, having no money, and then going to a family of 10 with a single mom.
But wait, right now people are going, but wait a minute. She's an only child. These people took and raised her. Surely there must have been a safety net put in place in case of their deaths. I had none of that either.
Oh no, I left.
No safety net.
It was not, I actually ended up leaving after 6 months, and I started living on my own, and I went back to where I came from, which was the north side. I grew up, what I said, like in Lincoln Park area. So I moved to,
and that's in the Chicago area, right?
Correct, right.
Okay,
so I ended up at 18 getting my own place and moving out and starting my life, and I kind of erased what I had just learned. I just said, I can't handle this right now.
Let me ask you, over the decades of early adulthood, i.e., let's say the 20s and 30s, for me, did you feel, even though you had found your family at 18, there was still a lot of question marks? So, how did you deal with, who am I? You know, did you ever, because, you know, my rationale was, I need to find them. What if there's diabetes or something that I can prevent early because it's in the bloodline? That was how I justified the search. Um, was there any of that for you? Did you want to find out, like, the history of the family, or none of that?
No, I was so devastated, Dr. Lauren, that like I said, it was a lot in it when I met them, that I just started and went on my own.
I get it.
I went back to what I knew. I started working. Started trying to put myself through school. I was pretty lost those first 10 years, but I did meet great friends that became my family, that we are
See,
still family. I
see,
created a sisterhood. So at a young age, what I did learn is when God doesn't grant you the family you want, create the life you need, you know? And
amen.
so God has always protected me. I just didn't realize it in my 20s. And he brought people to me. Now, did I make some great mistakes? Absolutely. But that's what life is. And
Yeah,
that's why my heart now is really for people. I have such a sensitivity for people who feel like they don't belong, who feel lost sometimes,
hmm,
who feel labeled. When we don't get a chance to get to know the person, that really that really resonates with me. You know,
sure.
I love to. I was a leader at a group for 4 years, a women's group for 4 years. And my biggest thing was to bring value to the group. But the number one thing, Dr. Lauren, I loved is when some new woman walked in the door, I would just walk up to her. And this was before COVID, when you could hug, you
Yeah,
know, organically, right?
right.
I loved when someone, I really do love meeting new people and just loving on them. And I learned at a later age to just embrace myself first, be who I am, be authentic in myself, and then bring that authentic woman to the forefront so that other people can see her. Because I always had her buried, if that makes any sense, because I was ashamed to show her because I didn't love my story. My story was shattered into a million pieces. And so I felt like that
Mm,
girl was not real, but she's very real. She just has a lot of painful things that have happened to her in her life, but she made it. She survived. And
sure
if
did.
there's something that I could do to help somebody maybe not go through as much pain or to
Sure.
comfort someone, let them know
Okay.
it's okay. That's a beautiful thing.
Of course, of course. Last question about the origin story piece. Um, so did you ever I did this for a while. Did you ever question, out of all the kids that were involved, you know, on the biological side, why was I the one that got away? Why was I the one? Because I used to think that was something bad, but then I started learning that it was because there was something special going on in my journey, that it had to be that way. Did any of that for you?
Yeah. So my biological mother, the story that I was told, she actually had a serious health issue, and I believe
Mhm.
it was cancer. She had developed cancer. So I am, on my mom's side, I am the second to the youngest of the 10 children. So what happened, my mom gave her children to people that she trusted, or to the families, because we have different fathers. Okay. So I don't have a full other brother and sister, but I have brothers and sisters, if that makes any sense. So
Yes,
what my
yes,
mom
yes.
did was she gave her children to the families of the people that they were related to with their on their dad's side. But my mom gave me
Oh,
to her best friend.
oh,
And then when she didn't pass, she went back to get me, and they didn't and they had power over her.
That's what
And
happened to
she was
me.
afraid.
I was loaned out for a brief,
So
up to
she didn't
3
get
to
me
6
back.
months, and then she fell in love with me, and
Right.
just said, I
Yeah,
can't
my
do it.
mom felt, and honestly, which you can relate to, my roots are my mom. This is my mom that raised me, my
Yeah,
adopted mom. She would, I
yeah,
mean, when people say, I couldn't love a child that's not mine. Oh my God, my adopted mother would have killed anybody for me. My
uh-huh.
dad, he was a passive, quiet, gentle soul, but yes, she fell in love with me, and she didn't give me back. And then I didn't find out about my father till I was 52 after I did ancestry.com, and that's when I acquired those other 6 kids.
Wow. Is he still alive?
2 passed away, but I was able to meet them before they passed.
You say nothing about that's awesome. That's really awesome. Listen, we're going to take just a brief break, really brief.
Okay.
And when we come back, we're going to get into all the things you do today. Because that story, like I say to you guys all the time, God does not make mistakes. He's merely keeping this shit interesting. So we're going to talk about what it was leading to when we return. Don't you dare go away. This is a great time to be the blessing by sharing this broadcast out. Stay put. We'll be right back.
I met Lauren a year and a half ago, but it was 2 months ago that I decided that Lauren was going to be my coach. And boy, that was not a mistake.
Dr. Lauren gives me permission to be me. I have very lofty
thankful to have Lauren in my life. If you are considering at all working with him, do it. It'll be worth it. He's amazing.
He was able to share with me insights, wisdom, information right there on the spot that just blew me away about my work and about my purpose and mission.
Hours. Let me tell you, I was on a total platform that I did not plan to be on. I had met some amazing people that I never would have met that was just, oh my gosh, life-changing, life-changing.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? Seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link. All right, welcome back to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments, the day after the 4th of July. Our guest today, hi Kimberly, welcome back. So, wow, that was pretty deep. And boy, I'm still shocked about the connections. I've met people, that have similar stories, but not so closely paralleled as ours. How interesting. Now, you're going to be on the stage at Tinley Park. Thank you, Martha Razzo, for this wonderful event, the Accelerator Business Summit. We're going to give you the information on how you can get your tickets before the end of the broadcast today, so stick around for that. So you're going to be speaking on the topic of networking, right? Now, before we get into that, you have and have had for quite a few years now, a cleaning business, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I remember my adopted mom used to say to me, because I was the only one at home. I had siblings, but there was like 6 years between me and the next one. So most of the time I remember being there by myself. And so I had a room by myself and it'd be junky. And she'd go in and clean up your room. I'm tired of looking at it, right? So I'd go shut the door and then go on outside, play. And she'd say, I thought I told you to clean your room. I'd say, but you also said you were just tired of looking at it. So I shut the door so you don't have to look at it. Problem solved. And she would say to me, no, get your butt in there and clean up that room. What it looks like in there gives me every idea of what's going on in here with you.
Yes.
You got a messy room, you got a messy mind. And so I thought we could start today leading into what we're going to talk about and what you're going to be bringing to the stage about, well, let's take a look about, is there a connection between the condition of our living quarters and the inside of our mind? Let's take a look.
You've heard of spring cleaning, but what about a summer sport? Experts say now is actually a great time to clear out clutter and donate outgrown clothes and other useful items. It's not just good for your home.
Lady,
It's
I
good
know
for
I've
your
outgrown
health,
this shirt.
too. When is cluttered and disorganized, our mind tends to feel cluttered and disorganized too. At a time when there's a lot of uncertainty in the world, experts say cleaning can be a good way to manage stress.
A lot of people, when they are faced with other problems that maybe they can't address at the time, or they're just kind of overwhelmed, they find that cleaning helps them restore a sense of control.
Research finds people with cluttered homes are more likely to report depressed moods. Cleveland Clinic psychologist Dawn Potter says when your surroundings are neat and tidy, there are fewer distractions, allowing you to better focus on the task at hand. Cleaning and organizing can also take your mind off something that's making you anxious.
Cleaning produces a tangible result that we can see and feel. We can like look at it afterwards and be like, oh, that looks so great. So we get that satisfaction of doing something meaningful.
If your house is very cluttered, start in one small area and get rid of trash and unneeded items first. If you need extra motivation, a midsummer sort can be especially helpful to others. Donating outgrown fall clothes now will make them available for families visiting secondhand stores for back-to-school clothes. And the same goes for unused office supplies, sporting equipment, or backpacks in good condition.
Wow. There are a lot of good tips in that little thing. Now, let's go to you. You have a cleaning business, and it is called
Crystal Clear Cleaning. And the clear is with a K.
Clear with a K. Crystal with a C, clear with a K. Now, how long have you been doing this work?
So in January of 2024, it'll be 20 years.
Wow. Now, when you started, did you think this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life?
No, actually, I didn't. It started because my firstborn child was hit by a car when he was 2. And it took me a few years because he had traumatic brain injury from that accident to really get him back to normalcy as much as possible. So it took a lot. He's a miracle child. God is just amazing. Wow. So after 4 years, I had my daughter, and it was a little overwhelming for me. And I had a friend of mine. She was a good friend, not a close friend. She was a good friend, but she was the first person to, I met her at a Mary Kay party years ago. And I was doing Mary Kay and I had to stop because of my son's accident. So she owned a cleaning business, but she took off in this multi-level marketing business and she was doing phenomenal, but she still had this cleaning business. So being my friend, she knew that in the corporate world, I was really struggling to balance my work life with my children and my position working in corporate.
Okay.
So she offered me, she's like, I have this cleaning business. I think you would be amazing at it because I really want to put 100% in my multi-level marketing business. And I was like, oh, no. I don't know anything about business. And I definitely don't know anything about cleaning because I had hired a cleaning lady on the side. My husband didn't know for about a year to help me with our house so that I could have, I realized what it did for me, for my mind, my spirit, my family, to have her come and help me. Right.
Yes.
So I actually told her, no, Dr. Lauren. And she was like, are you sure, Kim? And I said, no, thank you.
You just don't want this ready-made business that I'm trying to give you?
I said no. It was a very small. She only had like 3 houses a day. She worked with her sister, and she just didn't want it anymore. But I didn't know that because she was an amazing salesperson. So 6 months later, she came back to me and she had dinner at my house, and she said, "This was the killer. Ready?" She said, "God keeps bringing you to me. Your name keeps coming to me, Kim. Please think about this. Please pray on this."
Wow.
I did. And I had two people to support me with that. And one of them was not my husband, because he kind of laughed at me and said, please, Kim, don't do this. Don't do this. This is not your thing, right? But my brother and my best friend, Amanda, she helped me financially. And my brother walked with me to sign the papers. And that's how it all began.
Wow. So you actually bought the business.
I bought the business and I started it on my own. I changed the name. I hired two people. And I really didn't know what I was doing, but I got out there and I used my customer service, my detail orientedness, my experience, and I started researching, what are good cleaning products? What do people want in a house? Like doing market research, because in college that was my I loved marketing and sales. But then I had switched over to be a therapist, but that's another chat. And so yeah, it was one of those fall down pickup. Like I learned this lesson and keep on going.
Purpose.
Yeah. So it worked its purpose until I separated from my husband, because it was an amazing business for me to raise my children. My daughter was in theater. My son was in theater. They were both in band. She was a track person, a pom-pom girl. I didn't miss anything because of my business. I was actually a soccer coach for years.
Wow.
Because of my business, right? But then when I separated with my husband, I needed it to be a sustainable business. And that's when things changed. And that's why I chose to talk about networking.
Okay. Well, that's a perfect place to segue.
Yeah.
And it would seem, though, with a knack for networking, some people, you probably were back in the day before you knew what was really going on with that gift, because that's a gift. And a lot of us have it. Some don't know it. You might have been the person that people refer to as social butterfly, or, that kind of thing. Even Gladys Kravitz on Bewitched, the Nosy Neighbor. People said she was a busybody, but she was probably really great at networking. Whether you know what I'm saying. So talk about, what do you feel are some of the requirements, if you will, for that a person might have and not even know, that could lead them to becoming a great networker, because that's a foundation of any successful relationship, networking.
Getting out of your comfort zone is the number one thing. I know quite a few people. I'm not a extreme extrovert, but I'm definitely not. I have introvert moments, so I'm in the in the minute. So when I've met introverted people, a couple of them who have become leaders, and it's really funny because after their events, they have to have like a day off to regroup because their energy is so draining.
Oh yeah.
So you have to step out of in order to network successfully, you do have to step out of your comfort zone. I love what networking brings once you do that. Once you step out of your comfort zone and have a strategy in business. So let's just talk about business. If you like what I needed 10 years ago or 20 years ago, I no longer need. I need different things now in my business.
Right.
So as you evolve, you need to have a strategy, know what you need. So when you are networking, your time is valuable. Other people's time is valuable. Always have a giver's mentality. Don't go in somewhere always thinking about what you like, let me get a card so I can sell something. Right.
With your palm facing up.
No.
Sometimes it's to drop something. I like where you're going. I like where you're going.
No, you really want to. Honestly, Dr. Lauren, most people when I'm out, they don't really, the last thing they're doing, they're asking me, oh, by the way, what do you do? Right? Because I don't lead with what I do. I'm like, hi, how are you? What's your name?
You're making it about them.
Right? How did you find this place? And I'm terrible with names. So I ask them a few times, say your name again, and be honest, be authentic. Remember, I'm telling you, people nowadays are really savvy. They feel a salesperson and they run. Right? Be authentic. Right? But I'll say, can I say your name again? Because I'm so sorry. I am so bad with names. Right? And then just ask them, like, what brought you to this event? And then ask them, so what do you do? right? And then they'll start talking about what they do. And how can that's funny. I like, just to say somebody has a bakery, like we were talking about, loving to eat your cookies the next day.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right. And
I
so
forgot I had
like,
them
oh,
here.
I own a bakery. Girl, I love sweets. Where's your bakery? Do you know I have a cleaning? I put on events. I don't say I have a cleaning company yet. I say I do events, meetings, and I love, bringing sweets to the meetings. So tell me more about your sweets. What kind? Are they vegan? No, nowadays they're all kind of stuff, right? We don't have vegan, gluten-free, no free, full to the rim. So, asking them questions, and then people love to talk about themselves, but not in a way that it has to be authentic. That's, be authentic, right?
So let me ask you. So that's a way to bring business to business, B2B in. But what about, where do you go when you're networking for talent, i.e. the people who work with you, those people that you trust and train and send them into the personal spaces of people? I would think that, a storefront is one thing where you have client, staff and people are there doing inventory or whatever. But when you're literally responsible for sending humans inside of someone's most sacred space,
Amen.
And there's a lot of trust in all this. Talk about some of the things you look for in a person that he or she is right for crystal clear cleaning. What are the things you look for in them? Because you got to have some kind of a barometer, I would think.
Yes. Well, first of all, we look for that core value that I have. And our core values are integrity, respect, reliability, and we love building relationships. So we're very relationship driven at Crystal Clear Cleaning because I'm relationship driven. I love my employees. I do pour into my employees more because I feel like when your employees are happy and they love to come to work, they will do their job to the best of their ability. Mm-hmm. We vet them through a company called Pipe Hire, and they go through a whole process that starts from the time they apply. So they get vetted from how they answer those questions. And a majority of those questions are personality driven because, again, it's pertaining to our core value. Mm-hmm. And also the legalities of being able to go into somebody's home. So because we are fully licensed, bonded, and insured, plus everyone that works for me are employees, they're not contractors. So they have workman's comp. So we have a whole system that they go through before they get to me. And then we have the interview, and then we start off at Zoom, and then we have it in person. And then we do a trial week with them to see if this works for them and do they work for us. Skill can be taught. In my industry, skill is not yes, it's important because we need detail-oriented people. This is huge in my industry, right?
Yeah.
But personality is huge. And, you can't teach personality. You can't teach integrity. You can't teach a servant heart, right? You have to have certain qualities in this industry because, first of all, it is hard. And you're dealing with people. And as you said, we are walking into the most sacred place that we have while we're on, in life, right? It's our place of serenity. It's our place where we feel safe. So we want you to have an amazing experience once you've hired us. So it's experience, it's detail, it's knowing that this company cares about you. We're not just trying to collect a check. We want you to feel like when you give us the key or a code that you can go and get your cookies and your coffee and you feel safe about it. And even for those people who never can turn over the keys and cookies, we love them too, because a lot of people are still at home because of COVID. And they always ask me, like, is it okay if I'm here? I'm like, absolutely. I want to meet you. They want to meet you. We want to have a relationship with you because we're in your home. Right. So that's why I don't really things are changing, things are evolving. As you know, in business, you have to evolve. But I still love going and doing in-home estimates because I feel like that's the first initial step to building that relationship with that client. And not many owners go to a home and do the walkthrough. They have other people doing it. Right. So I walk in and they're like, well, is your name's Kimberly? Are you the owner? I'm like, yes. I'm the
they're
owner.
surprised to see you.
Yeah, they're surprised to see me. So
now, you probably know this.
yeah.
And for those of you out there that have a cleaning service, you know what I'm talking about. I don't care how long we're with them or they're with us.
Yeah.
It's just like when we go to the dentist, we scrub our teeth extra hard, right? And so it's like Brian and I find ourselves running around the house, spot cleaning right before they show up. Because we're like, well, we don't want them to think we're pigs, you know what I mean? And this and the other. It's so interesting mindset. But I want to ask you this, that relationship. I think this is no wonder you're speaking on networking at the event, because word of mouth is probably, I'm assuming, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I feel it's most likely your greatest resource as far as lasting relationships of new clientele, because we went to Angie's List. We went all these places. It took us 5 months, even with in-home estimates, to actually get that right fit. And it came through the referral of one of my buddies from Rotary. I love my girls, he said, and he's a bachelor. And I said, okay, we'll send them over. So my question is this. Talk about turnover, how networking properly from the beginning can affect the business's turnover, i.e. not just the clients that come and go, but the people that work alongside you. That's one of the number one things that knocks a lot of young companies out of business is constant turnover. Talk about the relationship. How do you network within your own people? Do you have culture events, picnics and this? Because in your business, right or wrong, your people know, they have their fingers on the pulse of the people you serve. They know when there's an anniversary. They know when somebody passed away. They know, And so talk about how that is like woven into the fabric of your business.
Well, as you said, like it's so funny you say that. Let me start with turnover. One of the things that has changed immensely since 2020. There are some things that we did have to pivot on, and we do our best with turnover. But in my industry, it has definitely risen. People are just no longer, the generation has changed. So we have to change with it. We do pour into our employees, as I mentioned, but when I talk to my clients, remember I said there's a whole slew of questions when we're hiring. There's actually a whole slew of questions when I'm onboarding a new potential client for my business, right? Or customer. And one of the things I do bring to the table right away, because my industry is used to have, they're used to private cleaners. Now I'm a company. There's a lot of differences between a private cleaner and a company. So when someone has the mentality is, I always want Maria, or I always want Leah, or I always want, Myra to be my only cleaner, I'm very upfront, because not everyone is a good fit. Because if that is something that's very important to you, then you will get frustrated with me, because that's not what I can promise. And I'm very, very upfront and honest about that, because the industry has changed so much. We pour more money into our vetting of people, of a potential employee. And now we're constantly hiring. So when I first started my business, I had those people for 8 to 11 years in my business.
Right.
And one of them retired with me, right?
Wow.
Now, yes, it was beautiful times. Now, if you can have somebody for a year, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Excuse me.
The dynamic has changed. Now, here's the thing.
Because of COVID, you say? You think because?
Oh, yes, because of COVID. And here's the reason why. The private cleaners, they charge less because they have no overhead. See, when you come to me, I tell clients, it's like when you buy a car and you have full coverage, or you have liability, or you have no insurance. You choose. Now we have to have insurance, right? There was a time, I'm aging myself, where people drove with no insurance, right? I'm full coverage. So you pay a premium for full coverage, but you have an expectation for full coverage,
You got
right?
that right. That's why we have a
So,
company now instead of just an independent, because
yes,
they dripped bleach water on our carpet, and there was nothing we could do about it because we're not trying to put her out on the street,
of course.
but yeah.
And
But
nor am I. I wish
right.
I could coach all those sisters out there who are doing this by themselves, because first of all, you need a coach whenever you're doing anything in business. You cannot do business. This is just my suggestion. You need a coach or a mentor when you decide to do any kind of business, because doing it alone, if you need a village to raise a child, you need a village to do a business.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's smart.
And you need the right village to help you. You need to have knowledge. I have a business coach. She saved me through COVID. And the word
I was
pivot.
going to ask you.
Oh, yes.
Did you think you were going to lose your business with COVID? Because I didn't want any strangers in my house.
Well, because I innately build relationships. You always have power partners in relationships, in business.
Okay.
My power partners are home service people, realtors, home service people like roofers, landscapers, organizers, those types, right? But also, I have developed great relationships with realtors, because I love when somebody's moving and we want to clean that house so somebody new can come in, or we want to stage that house so they can sell it. So I had built relationships with the realtors. Guess what happened in 2020, 2021? Realtors blew up. I lost 80% of my clientele. Yes. But we went from a full week to 4 days, but we did more move out and move in and staging cleanings in 2020 to 2021 and we did in 18 years of business.
Wow.
So yes, you have to have a mentor, you have to have business coaching, you need to have power partners. That's why you want to be in groups that help, people that help you. So, a professional organizer, amazing person for me. Remember what the woman said on the newscast?
Yeah.
You want to purge and get rid of old stuff, bring in new stuff. You want your environment to be a peaceful place to walk in, so that if you are a mom, you have time to play with your children. If you're in business, you can't think. Your mind is just going. And then if you've got all this clutter, it stresses you out. We don't want you to be stressed out, right?
Excuse me. Absolutely right. I'm just sitting here going, how brilliant that is. The piece about those relationships with service industry people, the organizers, the landscapers, and this, it's like a safety net. And you must put those things in place before you need them. I really love it. I cannot wait to hear what you're going to bring to the Accelerator Business Summit, because this is really important. It's really important because it saved your business. The relationship aspect, the networking aspect saved your business. A lot of people still think that networking is the equivalent of the clinking of cocktail glasses and the passing of business cards. And it is not at all. It's about conversations. And like you said, how to lead with interests coming from this direction instead of this direction.
Amen.
Love it. So these are two places scrolling along the bottom where you can visit crystalclearcleaning.net, or if you want to email info@crystalclearcleaning.net. And we're going to take it one step further. If you just want to get on the horn, say you're local, there you go. Her business cell phone, 847-722-9659. Now, we also have dropped inside your comment section for easy access at the conclusion of today's broadcast, MarthaRazzo.com. That's where you go. And I love it. When you go there, you're not going to see a whole bunch of other things that Martha does. You're going to see exclusively every single piece of the buffet table known as the Accelerator Business Summit, coming up August 31st and September 1st, right here at the Tinley Park Convention Center here in Chicagoland. People are coming from all over. And you saw Dr. Chopra was here the other day. We're going to have some more of the speakers coming on the weeks coming and leading into the event weekend. So make sure you get over to Martha Razzo There it is. There it is. Get over and check out what we're doing. So are you excited, nervous? How you feeling about what's coming up at Tinley Park?
I am all of the above. Remember what I said. You have to step out of your comfort zone. I stepped right on out of it to get with Miss Martha. So
Right.
I am very excited. Of course, I'm nervous. It wouldn't be real if I said I wasn't.
Right.
But I'm excited to be in that room. I'm excited to share my story, and I'm excited to see if I can touch just one person in that room. I've done my job.
Oh, I'm certain that that's going to happen. Any tips before we get out of here? If someone was considering and they're going, well, that's for rich people, having a cleaning partner, you know, or maybe they want to, I can't afford every week, or where is it best to just call you?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
every
Oh,
situation
yeah.
is
Everybody's
different.
homes are individual. You know, everybody's home. I ask about square footage, but square footage is just a foundational thing. Every home is personal, and I like to do that personalization through that phone call and that
Okay.
visit. Yeah.
Is it strictly residential, or do you dabble in commercial as well?
We do small
yeah.
offices like real estate,
Okay.
insurance, things that can that I could be able to service, and then I can give back to them as well.
Perfect. There you go. You guys reach out to Kimberly, and also go to the website. And if you don't need, just because you may not need cleaning services, it doesn't mean that your networking capabilities couldn't use a good dusting. Okay. So if that's the case, make your way to the Accelerator Business Summit coming up August 31st and September 1st, right here in Chicagoland. MarthaRazzo.com is where you go to find all things leading to that wonderful, wonderful time together. I want to thank you so much. I told you it was going to fly by, Kimberly.
It did.
It did. And look at what we learned about our connection. I can't wait. Listen, I'll see you on your session later this week.
Okay.
Right? Did you book one?
All right. I did.
Okay. I'll see you there. I can't wait. You're coming to the party, right?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Listen, and we're talking about the party Saturday, but there's another party that's tomorrow right here. I'm bringing in, you guys might remember this young man, Taylor Emerson. I met him 6 years ago when he was a teen working with Lisa Nichols. When I went out, I was just starting the Power Week Symposium, and Lisa invited me out to San Diego, and I followed her team for about 3 days for her Igniting the Teen Spirit Summit. And Tyler was one of the kids there. He's a grown man now, got a baby of his own. And boy, has he done a lot in this world. You'll find out that tomorrow when you meet me out front on the front porch at 8 a.m. Central, where together we'll do it again. That's right. Another illuminated conversation right here on Bathrobe Moments. So get out today. Have a great day. And remember, I love you. There ain't a damn thing you can do about it. Have a great day. Thank you, Kimberly. Great job. Great job. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time. How expensive do I have to be? Need a space.